Very good evening, guys. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat. Can you guys hear me and see me? Very good evening, Ekta. Great. Voice is breaking. Just refresh your browser. Let me know if others are also refresh my browser. Good evening. Good evening, Atis. What about now? Is it better? Great. So how was your weekend, guys? I think for me it was very long weekend. I enjoyed it. What about you guys? How was your guest lecture? Very nice, very nice. So what topic you guys have discussed in that call? Is it still breaking? Let me refresh the browser. Oh, okay. So I think it's happening. Joseph, you refresh your browser. Okay, so I think everyone has joined. So we can start the session. So today, so first we will start with today's topic, which is introduction to MVC. And I think because from the starting, we are already doing a lot of things related to MVC. So this topic will be completed before our break. And then we can look for the sequelized left part. I think in sequelized, some of the parts are still remained. So we will today cover after, we will cover that part also after our break. Okay, guys. So that's how today we are planning to go forward. So let's wait for 1 or 2 more minutes. And then we see that, like, then we can start our today's session. So yeah, I was asking like what topic you guys have discussed in the guest lecture class. Anyone? Last lecture of this module. I see. Is it regarding the rest or the sequelize only? Okay, so let me refresh the browser, guys. Let me also check my feed very quickly. As you can see, So downloading speed is coming 45 for me, and uploading speed is also coming near to 45. So I speed it for the platform. They are requiring more, and I think I had it. So it seems like just to just your browser. Okay, it's fine. Okay, great. Okay. So guys, as I already told that in I'm going to cover today's topic, which is into MVC, because a little bit theory, some of the practicals, which we will do through the coding, and then after break we will start looking into the questions which you guys has on VC part, and then we will then it's still breaking for you. I think let me refresh at the last time. What about now, guys? It's here. Earlier we refreshed 2 or 3 times. It just work. This takes much time. How can I do that? I need to what I need to join it. Yeah, so I think I just rejoined it. What about now, guys? It's good, right? What about others? Okay, okay, great. Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, so yeah, so today we will start our topic that is going to be used. It's in very of like most of the projects which we are going to do in IT industries. Mostly we follow this architectural pattern. Okay, even if we are working on the front end side or even we are working on the back end side, we follow this particular architecture pattern in many of the places while doing the developments. Even we are doing developments in Java or in other languages like PHP or Ruby, we follow this particular architecture pattern. And so this architecture pattern helps to create our project structure in a way so we can simply define what is this folder specifically doing. Correct? What is this part which specifically play the one role? So that's how this architectural pattern works. So it's like this architectural pattern help us easily debugging our code, easily structuring our code, right? And even if we are going to deploy or if we are going to make any changes, we have to only deploy or make the changes in that particular component. Correct? So that's why this architectural pattern has been used at many places. Okay, so big industries always use this particular structure, this particular architecture pattern while developing their web applications or any applications. Okay, so now we'll talk about what is this pattern. So this pattern is known as MVC. Okay, so where M goes for model, V goes for view, C goes for controller. I think we have already from the day, I think day 2 or day 3 class, we were already talking about the controller. Okay, and from the last 2 or 3 days, I think yeah, from last 2 days when we started understanding about the sequelize, then we discussed about the model. Okay, so I think these two synonyms or names you guys have already familiar, but today we will discuss again about them. So the new thing which comes into this picture, that is view. Correct? Because you guys haven't, like I haven't discussed about the view part much on the coding sense. Okay, so today we will talk about this MVC. And as I was saying, this particular architectural pattern which separates our application into three main logical components. So it separates our applications which we are going to develop in three main logical components. So one is the model, where like if I generally tell you what is the model, what is the view and controller. So in very layman language, model will be the place where we are going to handle the data part. Correct? Yesterday or like in the last classes, we were using Sequelize to do all the modeling part, right? Connecting to database, right? Bringing data from there, inserting data on that. We have created the models, which we were saying that tables in the case of Sequelize. But in general terms, we say that these are the models which we are going to create. So model is the data part where we are going to handle the database activities. Correct. Second one is a view. View is the place where we are going to represent something. Correct. View is simple. Like right now you are seeing this screen. This is a view for you. So the things which client or user or customer is going to see, that part is called view part. Okay, where everything you are going to see, and the controller is the main part. Controller is the main part. In other words, we can say controller is our API, because at the end all the APIs goes to controller only, right? I have already shown you this many times. All the API endpoints when we create, like get, post, put, all the API at the end goes to the controller. And in controller, we write our main business logic, which could be many things like manipulation of data, like which we got from the database, or handling multiple requests from the client side, or there could be some cryptographical operations which you need to do, or there are some other things like file reading, and I have already given you one more example, email triggering. All these are comes under the business logic part. Okay, so that's what MVC help us to define our projects in a way so we can separate all these three things all together. So there will be three folders in each of the projects which you will create, which will be handling this specific category or this specific task. Like there will be model folder, which is going to handle totally the data part. There will not be any business logic part. It just simply in the model we will write get data from database and insert data in database, delete this or update it. These are the four CRUD operations we generally do in the did model part. In the view part, we are going to look only onto those areas where we are going to insert something from for the client side. So for the users, so that the data which user is going to see, those things we will do in the views. Okay. In the controller, we do all the business logic part. Okay. So guys, just take one analogy which they have given in the fourth slide. So let me directly jump into that slide and then we will move into that. Okay, so you can see this is the one analogy of example of MVC where we can take example of car. So like when we are driving a car, whatever things you are seeing, like the steering wheels, gearbox, or start stop button, dashboard, all these things come into the view part where you are seeing the things as a user, right? So this is the view part where you can interact with the things, like you can with the steering wheel you are interacting, with the gear you are doing the system. But the engine is the controller, because every request whatever you are doing, everything is handled with the engine only in the car. So that's why in this example, our controller, our engine will be the controller where everything is happening, all the power which your car is taking, and all the like heat or AC and everything is running through the engines only. So that's why controller will be an engine, right? And what will be the model? Model will be the data, right? Model will be the data. Based on that data only, things will run. So, but in the case of car, that data would be that model would be fuel, which we are entering from our outside. Only when you will, only when you will provide the fuel, only then engine will work, right? So that's what. So our model will be the fuel. Same analogy you have to take in your mind, and whenever you are creating any web applications, you have to think in the same ways. So in our web applications, our fuel, our model is our the data which we are going to shape into our databases. Okay. So for interacting with this data or with databases, we always use some ORMs, right? Like Sequelize or like Mongoose for other, or like there was a more, right, Node ORM. We have read in the last classes. These are some ORMs which help us to interact with databases or with the models. Okay, and then we come into the controller part, right? Which is in our car, it's the engine, but in the applications, all the API, wherever we are writing APIs, at the end, I already showed you there is one callback. That callback is called controller. I am telling you this thing from the last two, or like from the last, when we started working on the Express.js, from that day I'm telling you that this part is controller, correct? Because we are going to do everything in the controller. And the view part, today I will show you one thing, like from the Express, how we are going to display something in HTML. Okay, so that part we'll do it today. So that's what it's, guys, it's all about the MVC. Okay, so let's draw one diagram and let's try to explain you a little bit more on that. Okay. Okay, so meanwhile, let me take the questions. So Joseph is saying business logic. Yes, so controller could be the business logic part. Yes. So similar to our model folder, we created via Sequelize. Yes, so that model folder which we have created, we use the Sequelize URL. And when we ran Sequelize in it, automatically model folder, config folder, and migration seeders, 4 folders got created. Deepak was saying, what is model? So see, the model is in the MVC part. When we talk about the model, so models are the things which we are going to save in our databases, where we are going to interact with databases, or data, where we are going to interact with data. On also, for interacting with data, we create some models, correct? So that part is known as a model, because see, MVC is an architectural pattern. In architectural pattern, we have the components, we have some steps to do. So the model step is where we play with data, correct? Model step is that where we play with the data, and then we have the controller step, where we play with main business logic. Okay, in our case, it's the API part where we do everything, correct? In the view part, where user can see things, those things we do there. Okay. Is audio video not in sync for me only? For me too? Voice is not sync. I refresh but didn't tell. Is it fine for? Okay, so guys, if that's the problem, let me refresh it. I think most of the people are facing it. So let me refresh it again, and then we will see some drawing also. What about now? It seems like Reliable server is, I think, today taking a lot of traffic. That's why we are seeing some lagging. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so one more question was there from Ekta. So sir, model is basically our entities, right? Like user. Yes, those are tables, right? In the Sequelize, I told you those models are similar to our tables in our databases. So yes, so the user is a one model, entity or post, like whatever you want to say. User, you want to say table, that's also fine. You want to say entity, that's also same thing. If you want to say model, that's also same thing. So model, table, entity, both are similar words. Now fine, now good. Yes, sir, lagging was there, but now okay, didn't understand. So let me, guys, let me draw some diagram, and then we will, I think we already have one diagram. We will first see that diagram, then we'll come back to this part. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. So we have understood the model, that the model is the main part where we do the data related logic the user work with. So that's what I already explained to you guys. And the view part is there where we are going to UI logic of the applications, right? Where we are going to see the things which we are going to returning in a response, like the HTML things, right? You can see here the customer view will include the UI components such as text box, drop down, the things which we do see in the, like if you open the Reliable website, whatever things you see, that's the view for you. Okay. Then is our controller, which plays the main role, right? Which plays the main role, because controller is the one who take all the requests from the view, and then interact with model, and also do the business logic. And once you interacted with models, send back the data. So everything is a controller is the main part which plays all the roles. Like it interacts with because see, from the view side or from the client side, when you make request, so now server slash controller has to take that request. So that's the first task of controller. After taking the request, what controller will do now? Now it will look for like whatever request you have asked. If you have asked some data from database. So now controller will go to the model and it will say that now give me that data. Now model will fetch the data from database, pass it to controller. Okay. Then controller will return back that data to view part. So that's why controller plays the main role. It's a middle. It's resides in the middle between the interface or the view and between the model. So that's what you can see here. Controller act as an interface between model and view to process all the business logic and incoming request, then manipulating data using the models, and then interacting and sending back the data. So that's what we do. So that's like I've given you car analogy, right? That's the better example. So the controller engine, because in the car, engine is the one who does everything, most of the things. Like if you want to walk, like if you want to just drive for some seconds, engine has to do some things, right? And for engines to do some things, we need the fuel also. That's our model. Okay. So like you see, so that's what I was explaining to you guys. We have already seen this structure many times with the different names, like we have seen it with the client server architecture. Now we are going to see the same things with the MVC also. So you can see the view, which is our client, which is going to notify controller. The request is going to controller or server. So views of client has been notified to controller that we need to do this action. Like we need to fetch some data, some users from the database, and then we have to display them in a list order in UI. Okay, we want to display those things in table. We want to display them in table in UI, so people can understand this application has this many users. So view has notified to controller. See what controller does. Controller has updated that to models. That model go and fetch this data from database. I want all these users. Okay. So what model does? Model goes to connect to database, and whatever database we are using, and then brings the data. So you can see the model is now notifying back to controller that I brought all the data. So now once the data is there, now what controller will do? Controller will update back to the view. It will give back response to view that now you have this data. Now you can do it. You can display it to user. So that's what guys happen on the MVC part. Okay. So let me see. Is there any questions? Yes, sir. Lagging was there. So what is thread? We write select query in that. So thread. See, thread is very separate concept. I don't know how you got it thread thing from the MVC, but thread are like a small task which you provide to OS, our operating system, to do that. So like when you are assigning any task, so internally operating systems, our machines create some thread to perform those tasks. And so in simple words, threads are the group of processes which is going to execute in our like main OS or the main panel. So see what happened in the thread. If we want to add 2 plus 3, right? So in the machine label, multiple instruction will be created, and those instruction will be running in processes. Okay. So now these process like 2 plus 3, there could be 5 or 6 processes to do this, to the manipulate, to the addition. Correct. So all those processes will come under one thread, and then we say that this is the thread which is going to have which is going to perform this particular operation. That's what JavaScript also run on a single thread. If you guys remember from the day one, we are telling that JavaScript also runs on a single thread. So threads are like that only, where we can perform, where we put a lot of group of processes. Can you please explain the diagram again? Sure, Ekta, I'll do that. So basically, controller doing the mediocre part between view and model. Yes, it's a mediocre. It's a bridge. It's a bridge, you can say. Video gone. Is it happening with everyone? My video is gone. So Node.js is single thread. So how can we do multi-threading in Node.js? Yes, we can do multi-threading in Node.js. So for that, we have like some packages where we create multiple threads, and those packages are known as child cluster and worker threads. Those are some of the packages. With the help of them, we can do the multi-threading in Node.js. Okay, so let's create a slide and let's understand this structure a little bit better. Yeah, let's start with user. Okay, then we'll go into other things. Okay, so let's see. Let's choose one pen. So you can see here, now we'll create a small user first. Okay. So this is our user box. Okay, this is a user box. So first, like as a user, when you open a reliable website, what you do? You went to the view side only, right? You go to the view, so, right? So like user interacts with view. User interacts. Here we can write interact. Correct. So you interact with view, right? The whatever relevant website is showing to you, that particular. Now what you did, you clicked on the courses. I'm just explaining you what I did every day. Okay, so first I opened the view, and then I click on the courses. So now I perform one action, right? So now you will see I will update to relevant server, or controller. I will write the controller, because in each server we have controller. Correct. So I will notify or update whatever I say. I will notify to controller that I want to see all the courses. Okay, so that's what the controller, that request will go to the controller. Okay, now what will happen? Controller will go to the database and bring all the courses which we had for the reliable or for this term. So what is now happening internally? What is happening? So now this controller request is going to model. Okay, right? Now this controller requesting, like it's saying, bring me all the courses. Bring me all the courses. This is a request which I did to models, which controller does to model. Okay. Now model will give back result to controller. It is result. Okay. Now result has come back to controller. Now once the controller has the result, it will respond back to view. It will respond back to view. So we can just use our eraser and remove the notify from here. We can keep the notify at that side. Yeah. And let's choose pen, our pen again. Yeah. So here we can write notify. Here we are notifying to controller. Here respond back to view. Respond back to view. And when the view side got the response, then it will display all the courses to you. So that's how, guys, that's how. Now see what we are going to see, what we are saying with MVC, that this particular controller part will be the separate folder where all the controller related things will happen, because it's architectural pattern. Architectural pattern means we are going to define an architecture in a better way so the developers or the teams can easily do the task. So that's why all the controller related thing will happen at one place. All the model related things will happen at one place. All the view related things will happen at one place. That is what the MVC architectural pattern is. That's what they say. So first they want you to understand what is model, what is view, what is controller. Once you understand what is the purpose of model, what is the purpose of controller, what is the purpose of view, then they tell you how to structure your project. And you need to structure your project in that way. All the controller related things should happen at one place, that is under the controller folder. All the model related thing has to happen on the models folder. All the view related things has to happen on the view folder. So that's what, guys, in now we will do the same thing in our project. Right now we have already created projects. If you guys remember, in the last class we have already created the model with the help of SQLize. So today we will use the same model which we created the class like user and post. Those are two models which we have already created. So we will today do the controller and view part. Okay, so that's what we are going to, and see in the slides also, that's what they are going to see. So we are, like you can see, the next they are going to show you the how we can implement the MVC using Node and Express. Then we are going to create the same folders. So that's what we are going to do it practically. And I'm planning to finish that also before break, so then we can look into the SQLize part. Okay, so in meanwhile, let's see your questions. So can we do multi-threading through async also? Multi-threading through async. See, guys, these Shubham, both are very different thing. Multi-threading and async. I think in the day one, I already told you, right? What is the multi-threading? What is the asynchronous? Anyone remember the example which I given you, which I given that day? about the synchronous call, asynchronous, and multi-threading? Anyone? Yes, T and Maggie. Yes, Najmeen has remembered that example. T and Maggie. So multi-threading is when you and your mother are preparing, both entered into the kitchen and are going to prepare Maggie and tea. But asynchronous is different thing, right? First, you have put the Maggie and the whatever time it is taking. In meanwhile, you went for tea also. And synchronous is first you will prepare the Maggie, then you will go for the tea. So these are different concepts. And your question was can we do multi-threading through async also? So see, we do not need, right? If multi-threading is different concept, so why would we needed async there? If you want to do asynchronous things, you will do go with async also or async only, right? So that's what, guys. Okay, so I think we are clear there. So are there other architectural patterns relevant? Yes, Omkar, there are other also, there are a lot of architectural designs, mostly people has given to us, like some of the modules you should not, like some of the modules like dependency injections and all there are other, but most of the used one, which is very famous, that's called MVC one only. I also have worked with MVCs in a lot of my projects, like where I have to create the controllers. That's why when I write the APIs, I automatically say that this is going to be controller. And see, one thing I will tell you guys, earlier when they have given this MVC, at that time, view or the HTML code goes from the server side, means server renders those things. But now after coming the Angular, React, Vue.js, most of the view part has started happening on the front end side only. All everything is happening on the browsers only. So only the server responsibility is just two, controller and model. But today I will show you all three things in servers. In Node.js app, I will show you all three things: view, view, and controller and model, all three things. But most of the time, when the front end and how the front end and back end role are defining in similar way, that's why after Angular React has come, after only that only front end role has been increased, right? Otherwise, see, so right now all the view happen on the front, happen with the help of Angular and React, and everything is running on the browser. But earlier, all the things like HTML things, all the things like whatever HTML code you have to send, all things goes from the server side. Today I will show you how that happened. But now everything has started happening on the browser side only. With the help of React and Angular, that's all. That's what it started happening. Now we do not need to make like multiple HTML calls to server. We can simply make one call and get all the data, and then everything will happen on start happening on your browser. It will use your machines. Okay, so I saw in code it was using for loop asynchronously. Yes, Subham. So yes, we have done that example, right, where we were using the for loop asynchronously, right? For off, you remember for off or generator. At that time we did that, right? What is solid principle? What is solid principle? I haven't heard it, but yeah, I can look for it, Ankit, and then I will come back to you tomorrow and in next class about the solid principle. Okay. For Android, we also have different architectural pattern. Yes, similar way. Like for web applications, we generally use MVC. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's see that how the things is happen on the project structure. Okay. So let me share my screen and let's go into our day 10 class. Okay. Let me turn on the, okay, 1 minute, guys. Yeah. Yeah. So let me know you guys can see my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen? Yeah, great. So, okay, so let's keep these things aside. Okay. So yeah, this was the day 9 things, right? Where what we did, let's delete all the irrelevant files first. Yeah. So yeah, on the day 9, what we did, if you guys remember, on our last call, what we did, first we have created one packet.json with the help of npm init. I've already pasted everything, npm init, right? Then we install all these dependencies, sequelize for our database part, for interacting with database. Also, it helps us to create models. Then I install our database, which we are going to use. So SQL is the ORM, MySQL is the database, correct? Database adapter, we can say. SQL is CLI. It provides us a lot of shortcut where we do not need to write things. We can simply like with this CLI, we can automatically create a lot of models, right? Then I also install the Express, like where we were simply created two APIs. If you guys remember, we created two APIs yesterday. One is the create user and second was the get user, correct? And here you can see I was simply calling the model. You can see on the top we have created a user, post, and employee. Also three models we created, and then I was simply calling the models and creating the data which coming from the postman. Right now our client slash view was postman only, correct? And and then after that we were just finding all the data and then simply returning whatever the user is coming. So now today what we will do, we will restructure this thing. Right now everything is happening only in one file, but this is not a good structure, correct? So is it happening with everyone? Okay. Yes, Ekta, then please just refresh it. Yeah, so controller is API and model are store data. Yes, controller we can say it's a API, and yeah, model is for the storing data, fetching data from database. Just that. You can see this is our model. We are not going to do anything today on the model because we have already done everything for the model in last class. So you can see what we did in the last class. We ran these commands, right? Where are those commands? Yeah. Uh, yeah, these are the command, right? Model generate, where we provided the model name and then some attributes. Like if we say that this user was my table and these were some of my columns like name, role, email. So I'm telling you the responsibilities of model. So first responsibility of model is like create the tables in the database. Second responsibility of model I have showed you here, where we were trying to fetch data or create data. So first responsibility was create table. Second responsibility was create data on those tables, right? Third responsibility is like find that data. Fourth responsibility would be update that data in the database or in that table. So these are some responsibility which model plays, and all the things which is happening, those will only happen in the models only. You can see all the models which we created, everything is happening in the model folder, correct? So if somebody in the later, like you have created your project, right? In later some new person has joined your team and you told that you are following MVC structure. So you know that what will be his what will be his thought process would be, that once when he will see your structure, okay, this is a model folder, okay, all the database, all the table creation, all the columns he wants to see, everything he can see under the models folder. He do not need to go in any other folder. Then all the business logic he will see in the controller. All the view part, if server is rendering anything, then he will look into the view part. So that will be his thought process. Okay, could you please repeat reliable analogy? Okay, sure. Let me first repeat that and then we can move further. Let me go to that slide where we were discussing about that. So yeah, Joseph, see, this is the user, right? As a educator, when I open the website, so as a user, I just see first the courses screen, right? Courses screen, or like simply like the first home screen, right? First home screen. So that is the view part where we are seeing things, correct? And then I click on the courses button, right? On the left side, I click on the courses button. So then internally what is happening? My view has notified to controller that bring all the courses data. Okay, bring all the courses data. So my view has notified to controller. So now what controller will do? Controller responsibility is, okay, I will connect to models and I will inform him that bring me all the courses. So that's what controller does. Controller connected to models and is telling to models that bring me all the courses. Okay, the similar way you can see if okay, you're not seeing my screen. Very like I will show you the example also. We are doing the similar thing, right? If I go to this part, you can see like user.find all. That's a similar thing. That's a similar thing. You can see this is our controller. I'm telling you from the day one, right? From the like when we started on the Express.js, I have already told you this is always our controller, and our controller internally telling to the model that find everything. See, user is our model, right? Then it is telling to model find everything, correct? And then once the model will find everything, find all the courses, it will just respond back to controller that I find everything. This was the total result. And after that, controller will give that response back to view, and then we were able to see it on our UI screens. The courses data which we find it. Okay, let's see. Let me see what data Reliable website has. Let me open the Reliable website for you guys in another tab. Let's see. I will go into the inspect part. What happened? Yeah. I will go into the network. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Let me know in the chat. Yeah, great. So let's open the reliable.com. This is the first call which we are making from the view, right? This is the first call. You can see this is the first call happen already. Right? We'll just put for the fetch. Yes. So you can see these are all the calls which are going to controller or server, right? Let's click on the courses part. You can see now the new call started, and you can see now this server has provided us all the details here for the courses. If I go down a little bit, I think I will see all the courses here. You can see the header section. See, most of so many things are coming from here, from the server side. See, courses listing, header section. I think HTML, some of the HTML parts is also coming. Like some data is coming, but later on that data will be put it into the HTML file, right? Let's see other cohort list also. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the data actually, full development course. Yes. This is another call which has made from the front end, from the view side to controller. And you can see that front end development course and everything is coming, right? Some of the things are coming from Amazon also. They are using some reliable bucket for bringing the images. Those images are not coming from the server directly. See, these all things controller does. Controller will connect to the reliable. Controller will connect to the like Amazon website, bring all those things, or they might have stored it into the database also, right? So they can do multiple things here. So that's what I want to show you guys, that when you make the call, that happens to your server and controller is doing everything, and then controller sends you back the data. Now the UI part is there. Now data has come. Now UI has to display all those things to you based on the HTML. Okay. So let's see the similar thing in our project. We are not going to create that much big UI for right now. We'll just simply create one small h1 tag or h2 tag. Okay. So okay guys, so first let's see what we have already done. So I already showed you that this like we have already created two APIs, create users, get users, and we have already started a server. This all things we have already done, but right now everything is happening on one file, which is app.js, which is not good, right? Which is not good, right? Because right now it's just two APIs, but in the bigger projects, there could be more than 50 or 60 APIs. It will not look good, right? All the controller logic, you can see all the controller logic, all the models call, everything is happening here. Only the models are separated right now. Otherwise, like controller, routing, everything is together. So that's not good. So first, let's try to create folders. Let's try to create first controller folder. Okay. So let's in the backend cohort, we'll create the controller folders. Controller, okay, we have created controller.js. And right now we'll just simply create one file inside the controller, and that would be index.js. Let me just increase the size for you guys so you can clearly see that. Yeah, so we'll create one file only right now, index.js. Okay, and now what we need to do, we need to move this whole code, right? This whole code from here. because I already told you this whole code is only the controller, right? So see, so first we'll simply copy, yeah, simply copy paste these things. No problem. Simply take this whole thing from here. Control X and let's paste it here. Control V, we'll fix it. There are some errors, we'll fix it. We'll copy paste this thing also. You can see how small it looks like now. Our app.js only has 2 lines looks like. And we create 2 things here. Now give these functions some name. So this function is creating things, something, right? So create user, right? That's what this function is doing. And this get all user, right? We have given some names to them. Okay. Now let's see what other things we need to bring here. I think we need one model also, which because this is calling the model user. So on the top, we need to require models also, as we were doing here in the app.js. We'll similar do the here also. So let's see. Const how we require things, require, where is the model? Yeah, where is the model? So this is giving me, okay, yes, now we are in the model folder. You can see model slash index.js, or no need to index.js, automatically it will take the index.js. And then we can simply take the user, right? We can simply take the user from here. Now you can see user.create. So now user is done here, correct? Now user is there. This also user is there. I think we do not need any other required thing here. Now we just need to export these things. So other places we can use it. Module.export, we will simply export these things. Get all users, comma, create user. Right? So now what we did here, we have created, we have just brought whatever is happening here in the app.js into the controller folder. And then we just simply given the name, create user, get all user. Let me see if you guys are able to see my screen or not. Are you guys able to see my screen? Ah, okay, great. So yeah, so we have created 2 methods. Like already we have created these methods. We just created the name of, we just given the name to those methods, and simply whatever data is coming from the user side, we are simply like I already discussed about this code, but I will discuss it again. So like these 4 things will come from the UI side, like name, email, age, role, which is coming in request.body. Then we fetch these things and insert it into the user.create. That's the model. So that's why we need models. That's why I require the model. So I can simply use that model. And you can see get all users. That's what we did here. Okay, the user find out. And at the end, because we want to use these methods later on in some other files, that's why I just then module.export. Now, first I will bring all those methods in app.js again. Let's see those are methods working here or not. Still, this is not good, but I'm still bringing it here. Let's see those methods are working over here or not. I'm showing you now controller, right? So I think I can directly go to the controller from here, right? Yeah, controller slash index not needed. Automatically it will take the index. Yeah. So let's take both things. Get all users and create user. And we can simply put this thing here. Get all users and create user. That's all. That's all we need to do. It's still not right. A lot of things are happening in app.js, but I'm just showing you first how the controller working. Let's start at server and let's see controller is working properly or not. So before that, I need to start Jamp also because I think I haven't started a Jamp today. So let me start the Jamp guys first. Okay, so this is not Jamp. Yeah, it's here. It's also the same thing. Music. Oh, it is for installing. No, I don't want to install it. Okay, I don't want to install it. I can simply find the Jamp here. How will it start? Okay, that is weird. I want that UI, right, which we had yesterday. So guys, just give me one. And meanwhile, I will tell you, I will suggest to you guys also, start the Jamp, right? So you can access your database. Start Jamp, okay. Let's see, I can write start Jamp or not. Okay, start Jamp. Okay, it is in the Jampifiers. Hmm. So this is the installation part. Okay. So guys, just give me 1 minute. Meanwhile, I would suggest to you that you guys also start. Let me just give me 1 minute. Yeah. Let me look for the jam properly. I think I need to search in the Google. 1 minute. How to start jam in Mac. Okay, so there is jam control panel. Oh, actually, I was not sharing my screen. That's why I just find the place. So I'm just looking for that. They have telling me this place. You have to go control panel in Mac OS X. So we need to go application jam. Then I think I can get there. So let's go back to application first. Yeah, application, and let's look for jam here. Yeah, jam is there. Then what's next? X amplifiers. Yes, X amplifier is there. Manager OS X. Manager OS X. Okay, let's click it here. Okay, I need to provide the 1 minute, guys. It's weird. It's not let me open it without the okay. What about from here? Can I access it? Uh, 1 minute, guys. Hey, getting something? Oh no. Let me just quickly do one thing. I should be doing this before the class, but I thought it will be very simple to open it, but doesn't look like. So just hold on for some more minutes, guys. Let's see now. Okay. Okay, very weird. Huh? It's not taking the password. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Oh, finally, we got the controller. So let me start the Apache web server and start. Oh, it takes a lot of time, huh? So it is starting. Both things are running, so we can check this thing very quickly with the localhost phpMyAdmin, localhost colon php my admin. Oh, should be slash, not that. Yep. Yeah, we are good. So now, yeah. So I hope you guys have also started your Jam servers or Workbench, whatever you guys are working from the day one, right? Okay, so Ekta, please check GitHub. Already started. We will can anyone share the code of? Yes, it's in the GitHub, right? Already shared it, right? On that day. The current changes. I mean, oh, I haven't posted. I haven't posted. So let me just first run it and then I will push it. Okay, the current changes. So yeah, so what I did. So yeah, I already explained you what I did. So we are going to test it now. Yeah. So let's just start the server. Node. So let me check. We are in the correct folder. Yes. Node app.js. So let's just start our server. Node app.js. Yes, so our server is running. So let's check for get users. I'm sure we already has users in our database. If not, so let's check it very quickly. We'll go to the phpMyAdmin and we'll check there. We have the users in our database or not. So let's see. If we go to which database we are using, how can we check? We can check that from the config, which database we are using. And we are using social media, correct? So we'll go into the social media part. We have three tables, users. Yes, we have two data. So these two entries should come, right? So let's trigger the postman. Where is postman? Okay, let's me open the postman also. Yeah, let me open the postman for checking our APIs. Yeah, so I think we will change the port. So what is the port we are using here? In our app, we are using 5000. So we'll check for 5000. We'll edit it. And we are not using users, we are using what is our API name? Get users. Yeah, get users. And yeah, let's trigger it. Let's see. Yes, we got two entries, right? So our controller is working properly. So even can you see the flow now, guys? Let me show you the flow. What happened? Let me come back here. Let me tell you what was the flow. Let me create again another slide. Let me explain you with the postman. So see, from the postman, we called slash get users. So right now, this whole part is view for us. View for us. Correct? This whole part is view for us. And this request come to our server. Yeah, this request come to server. And now inside server, it goes to routes. Right? From route, it goes to controller. Correct? From controller, so now you can understand, from controller it goes to models, right? And then this flow goes back from model, it goes to here, then to routes, and then server respond back. So this whole, now you can say this whole thing is controller. With MVC structure, this whole thing is controller. Oh, by the way, this not this whole thing, let me correct it, guys. This is not the whole thing is controller. By the way, this is my mistake. Yeah, so this part only is controller, the control part. This part is separate. This is like server part, we can say. We'll create the route also separately. I will show you. And server will be our app.js file. Server will be our app.js file. Because from only app.js, we are starting a server. Routes, we'll create the routes folder also. Next thing which we are going to do, create the routes folder. We'll keep all the routes there only, not in the main file. And this then this is controller. We already have the models folder where we are handling the model part. Correct? So that's what, yes, the postman is our view, Postman is our client, both things. Yes. For me, it is showing access denied after changing the port, but MySQL is running. Uh, Not sure, Ankit. I think on the last class, have you solved all the problems? So Shunil has asked one doubt to us: can we use Apache and WAMP instead of JAMP? See, guys, there is no mandatory to use JAMP or anything. We just want MySQL server in our local environment where we can use the MySQL database. Whatever you want to use, we can use like we just want MySQL database server. If you do not have JAMP, if you have only MySQL database server, we are okay. We are still okay with that. Okay. So that's what, like, you do not need to use anything here. It's like I just told you JAMP because that was very easy to download and you can start working with that. Okay, so yeah, here Postman is client. Yes, Postman is client. That's right. Ritik is showing, please show the index.js code. So index.js code, yeah, let's see. What we did, we just changed this part in index.js. Earlier, create like this was our asynchronous call, right? If I show you, like this was our controller. We were doing everything here only, right? We were simply calling all the models and doing everything here. But now what we did, rather than that, now these things are coming from controller folder. That was the only change which I did, guys, here. So now the next change which I'm going to do, guys, that is going to be like, are we good with this change? First, let me know. Are we good with this controller change? We didn't do anything. We just changed the folder structure. Are we good with that change, guys? Okay, great. It is giving error by trying to post a user by a postman. I will share I will share the code. Ekta, try that code, yeah. Like index.js, no, not app.js. Okay, not sure. Ritik and index.js, not app.js. Oh, okay. You mean, oh yeah, this is the file, right? In app.js. Yeah, where we are starting our server. So this file should only do the starting part. This file should not be having these routes also. So that's why now we are going to create one more folder, which is going to be route. We are going to give a name as a routes, where we will keep our all routes. Let's create one index.js here also, right? And then we will move all these routes, these which we have created custom, not the global one. Global one is fine here. All the custom one to the controller, to the routes folder. Okay, right? And we already using the app here also here, so we can change the name from app to some other, like, let's also see how we do that. Express already provides something to us. So let's first take Express here again. Require the Express. Just for handling the routes, Express provides something to us. That comes like const routes is equal to express dot router. Yeah, that's what it provides. And now instead of app, you can simply keep routes. And at the end, you can simply export it. Module dot exports is equal to routes. That's what. Now we also want this controller here, right? So let's import them as again. Const equal to require. So guys, we are not doing anything new. We are just restructuring our code. So we can make this code in the MVC pattern, MVC architecture pattern. Okay. So we are outside of, oh, okay, require spelling is wrong. Okay. Yeah. So now we are outside of, yeah, controller. Yes. And now we can say get all users, comma, create user. So first, so that's all you guys to do. You want to create new routes, you can just simply copy it and create a new route like this. Simply, all the routes will be staying in this file, staying in this folder, not in this file, staying in this folder. Okay, now in the main file, first remove this controller line, because now the app.js is not going to bother with the controller part. Okay, We can remove these models also. So this is all going to be done on the compiler. Now we need to import the routes also here. So we can simply put the route in the center, right? So let's only in this file routes will come, right? So routes, yeah, that's index.js, and then we can after express.json we can simply use app.use routes. Done, guys. We are done with the routing part. Now all the routes will work from this file. Let's check it. Node app.js. Let's trigger it again. You can see same thing is happening. So guys, let me explain to you guys again what we did. Earlier, all of our routes which we are going to write, like all the APIs, all the endpoints, we were all writing all things in our app.js, which is not good practice, because the purpose of app.js is just starting our server. Okay, all the starting things should be here, correct? So that's what we did. We created one route folders, and inside the routes folder we use some of the express features like express, and express internally provides us the router which does the same thing, where we can keep like multiple routes here, routes.post, route.get, everything we can do here. Route.math, like multiple methods, like route.put, routes dot, and guys, we can keep any name here. It's not like routes we only need to take. We can keep app again, or we can keep apps, or we can keep like a bridge, anything, any name we can keep here. Yeah, so we're just keeping the routes here, and then express.router is the method which provides some of the features for routing. And then we can see that we have just simply moved the URL here, and we have used the controller and then exported it, and in the main file we just put it after express.json. So this is the what guys I did for the controller part, controller and routing part. So let me see, you guys will have any question on this restructuring part? Let me see in the chat. Sir, can you please give us 2 minutes to refactor our structure? Oh, sure. So let me push these changes, and then you guys can also, I will wait and I will answer the queries. Meanwhile, you guys can test also. So let me push these changes. MVC, yeah. Let me go to the GitHub and directly give you the URL also. So yeah, we can search with the name backend cohort. So yeah, this one is the repo, and you can go into the day 10. You can go into this MVC part, and doesn't look good like this. What about this? Okay. What about this? Okay. Yeah, you can see all the files here, all the changes which we did. So let me paste it for you guys. Yeah, I'm pinning it also. So can you please give us 2 minutes to refactor? Sure. Ritik is saying please show the index.js. Sure, I will show you the index, controller index. I will show you. Sir, can you show the controller? Yes, controller index I will show. What does express.router do? So express.router just provide you all the routing features which Express can provide you, which Express internally, like I told you, right? Express provides you, when we were discussing about the Express, I told you like Express internally provides you a lot of routing mechanism, which we were doing with the app.use or app.get. Those all comes with the express.routers. Internally, express.router we use. So that's why we like earlier when we were using the app.get, we were directly simply taking the app from Express, right? You can see we are simply doing everything on the app. We were simply taking the app from here. App internally has the app.router, but when we are doing here, we can simply do the similar thing. We can simply put the Express, and all the Express things will come. But right now we specifically want the router thing. That's why we just initialize the express.router. These particular variable will only have the routing features right now, nothing else. Right? What is happening here, when we did app equal to Express, everything which Express provides will come under the app. But we do not want that here, because the purpose of routing is only doing the routing part. So that's why explicitly we call the router method and get all the routing things. And then we are doing the similar thing. So that's why we haven't called the express directly here, because we only want the routing thing from the express variable. So that's why we use the express.router. Okay, so now come back to controller index.js. Yeah. So lot of people were talking about this file. So guys, in this file, we have we have just copied pasted all the code which we were doing inside this, right here. Inside this here, like earlier, we were doing this, right? Let me go back to controller again, and let me copy paste this thing. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, this was the earlier case, right? We were writing all the controller directly with our routing, with the routing name or our API name. But now this is not a good structure, because we are going to follow the MVC, and in MVC we say that controller should be all the code of controller should be in controller folder. So that's why we moved this part. We moved this part to the controller folder under the index.js file. So we created create user, get all user, two methods, and whatever things we were doing, and then at the end we have exported these methods. And then because these internal methods, these internal methods were using the models also. So on the top we have required the model. So that's what we were doing, guys, here. Yes. So flow of request and response. Yes. Let me draw the flow. I think, yeah, I already drawed it. Yes. This you can see here. Yes. This is the flow, right? So the client will make request to server. Server will send request first to routes folder. From the routes, it will go to the controller folder. From the controller, it will go to the model. Then model will return back to controller. Then it will go back to the routes. Then servers from the route view side. The flow of requests here to move to folder directory and why two dots with controller. Here, two dot happens when we want to move into. See, guys, let me show you that is the Linux command, or how we like navigate between the folders. So see, when we are writing two dot, it means right now we are in the index.js, correct? So first we want to go back to one more folder, right? So that's why controller we did that, because we want to come into this directory where the controller is there. So that's why when we come out of two directories, out of our current directories, so that's why we do dot dot. And if you want to look for some file which are in the same structure, then we simply need to do dot slash. So like in the controller, if we have app.js, this is the file in the same folder, right? So now you know what we need to do. Const equal to require and single dot slash. You can see automatically app has been come into that. So that's why when we are looking into the same folder, we just need to simply do dot slash. But when we want to go outside of our folder, then we need to do two dots. You know, guys, see, we just need to go. If you create one more folder inside this test, right? And let's give one more file inside this, like navi.js. Right now, if you want to go from here, to read this file routes. So now how many folders we need to go out? First, I need to go out of test folder. So first we need to go out of test folder, right? So first two dots now. Now we need to go out of controller folder. So we again need two dots. Now you can see we are in the controller folder. Now we can go to any other folder from here. So that's how these dot structures work. We need to come out of folders. So we need to do this two dots, right? Are we good with that, Parag? I think Parag has asked it, right? Are we good with that, Parag? Great. Flow of request response. Yeah, flow we were discussing, right? Do we need to import sequelize in app.js? So Vishal, why we are just importing this sequelize? Just to check this thing, sequelize or authenticate. And what sequelize or authenticate does, like once your server is starting, it's just checking that the database server is up or not. Just that does that part. Because you know, in the car, fuel is the important part. In a similar way, In the server, database is important part. So once our server is starting, we are checking that database part is database is running or not. So that's why we kept this file here, this line here. But it's not necessary, but just for checking. Similar way, like car example, we need fuel. So we have to check that your car has fuel or not. So that's before starting the car, you have to check like your car has fuel or not. Otherwise, you just simply in the dashboard you will say like low fuel. Similar way, if your database is not up, it will throw the error directly. Like your database is not up, so your server cannot run right now. So that's why we are keeping this file. Otherwise, we can simply remove this file also here. Okay, guys. So now we have done controller. Okay, let me delete the whole things which I created for this. So let me delete these things first. Yeah. So now we have created the okay. What are the changes I did here? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 No, no, no. I already post, right? I don't want to make any changes here. Yeah. So now, guys. So we have done the controller and model part, right? Sir got an error posted on doubt session. Okay. So let me see what error he got. So he got error from column age, unknown column age in field list. So you are trying to insert something and you are trying to insert age. It seems like you do not have age column in your database. So that's why it is saying unknown column in field list. So just check your model, like check this model. See, let me go to the yeah, say see this part. Go to the model, check in the user, and just check, do you have age or not, like this in your model. If you have age, then come to the here, and you can see you are passing age like this or not. Name, email, age, role. It seems like with your error that your user does not have age. So that's why it is giving error. Let me know in the chat. Is it the reason your user does not have the age, Deepak? So in app.js, when we do app.use route, it automatically knows where to find the APIs and use it. No, how will it? No, no, no. It does not automatically knows. You have provided the path right on the top, like this is the path this route has to go, and then when the request will go to these routes, it will look into these APIs. How many APIs are there? If somebody is calling /create user, it will go for this API, this controller. If somebody is looking for get user, it will go for this controller. Okay. Yeah, please, Deepak, check that part. Okay, guys. So what I was saying. Okay, so let me first let me know you guys have understood the controller and routes part. Let me know in the chat. Vishal has understood. Ekta has understood. What about others? Ritik has understood. Arath has understood. Parag is saying he wants to understand a little bit about the root export. Okay, let me go to there. Nilanjan is saying anybody understood. What happened, Nilanjan? What was the query you had? So we have restructured today the things which we have done. Okay, you have doubt in app.js. Yeah, let me know. What is the doubt? What is doubt you had? So see, Nilanjan, what we didn't do anything new today. We just created some folders and moved our code from one place to one place to another place. That's what we did. So how can we query database in app.js from my PHP admin? How can we query a database in app.js from my PHP, my admin? Okay. How? Oh, okay. In Postman. First thing, Nilanjan, why are you attaching app.js and PHP Both are separate things, right? You're using PHP just for seeing the data which you have inserted in the database. So PHP no relation between app.js or PHP. Okay. So first thing you need to clear about that. PHP is just a UI to see the data. Correct? Okay, now the next thing is which could be, I think, which could be your query. How are we as you get the data by fetching get users in Postman? Yes, right. We do not need PHP for that. So we are using models, right? See, okay, so you guys can see that in app.js we have used this thing, right? Const sequelize. So once we are doing sequelize or authenticate, we are connecting to database here, right? So we are and how we are connecting through the config folder, and these are the credentials. From these credentials, we are connecting to database. Once we connecting to database, now we have already created all the models. Now we know that we have three models here: post, user, employees, right? Once we have the models, simply in the controller, we are just importing those modules. You can see, and then in the get all users, we are calling those models to get all the data. Correct? So that's how our database connections is working and how we are able to fetch it. We do not need to write any queries. Right? We don't need to write any queries. ORM is doing everything for you. You just need to import them properly. You need to create models, you need to import them. You need to create models, you need to import them. और मॉडल्स आर सिंपल टेबल्स. तो जब भी आपको कोई बोले कि मॉडल्स का क्या है सीन, आपको हमेशा टेबल सोचना है. ये टेबल है, आपको इसको क्रिएट करना है, एंड देन यू हैव टू इंपोर्ट इट. जब भी आपने सिंपली, देखो मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, ये मॉडल्स हमने कल ही क्रिएट कर लिए थे, राइट? आज हम क्या कर रहे हैं? सिंपली वी आर इंपोर्टिंग इन, we are simply importing them many places, right? Sir, can you please rewrite the code on notepad because I'm not clear today? I haven't written anything, I just provided. And why do you need in the notepad? Because it's in you can find it in the GitHub, right? All the changes which I did, you can see all the changes which I did. You can see it here in the GitHub. Already pinned the link here, right? So you can see from there also. Yeah. And what is the thing which is not clear for you, Vikas? Is it the route folder? That's what you asked right earlier. Or Parag has asked. What is the thing which is not clear to you, Vikas? So we'll just discuss it again. It's not a problem. Okay, so let's see the Parag question where he was asking how we are exporting that. So let's see. Yeah. So you can see here, so routes is an object. Okay, guys. Let me see first. You guys are able to see my screen or not? Are you guys able to see my screen? See, guys, routes. Simple meaning of routes. When we started discussing, it's just the bridge between your request and controller. Between your request and controller. So you can see the people or the client will make request to this endpoint / create user. So now what's the purpose of routes? To take the requests which are coming in / create user and pass this request to create user, the controller. That's what only the routes does. Okay. So earlier in the last class, we were writing all the routes in app.js. Okay. All the routes in app.js with the use of app.get, and everything we were doing, right? App.get and many things, right? We are simply doing that. Today, what we did, rather than putting all the things in app.js, we moved that to routes folder. We created one folder. We moved in. This is like, we can keep it any other name, right? If the naming is confusing you, we can keep any name here. But just related, right? Because we are talking about the routes, so that's why I just created the name as a routes there, right? So in the routes, we are doing the same thing which we are doing with the post and get. And earlier, why I only use the express.router today, not this. Earlier we were using this, right? This will also work, guys. This will also work, but here we are specifically working with the router, so that's why we only using the router. Whatever because Express provides you lot of things, right? With the Express, you can do like static page rendering, or multiple engines can be inserted, or a lot of things like you can start servers. So, but in this file, we don't want everything in this variable. So we only want features which are related to routing. So that's why express.router I did. It will provide me all the routing features only. And then I was using the routing features similar way as I was using the app.get. And then at the end, I just exported this routes there because this is an object, and we most of the time return object from here, right? You can see in the controller also we return the exported the object from here, and then at the end in app.js I just use the routes here because we need to define it, right? From where you have to go to routes. I have to tell to express that from here you have to go to the routes. So that's why I required the routes and then put it into the app.use. So that's what's happening in the routes part. Okay. So routes are collection of API. Yes, route folder are the collections of API. So routes are nothing, guys. Routes are the name which we have taken. But you can say routes are going to be collections of APIs. So where to give the data of users from the postman. From the postman, we will create the data for the users API. We make requests through app.js. No, we make requests through postman or from the client. Okay, we make requests from there. Then it come to app.js. Then that request come to app.js. Then it goes to routes file and then execute the desired routes. Yes, execute the desired routes. If you are looking for create user, it will execute this route. If you are looking for get users, then it will execute this desired routes. And then the routes are mapped to specific controller. Yes, then these are specific controller, correct. Then these requests will go to these controllers. And yes, once those are finished executing, we get them. So you can make one more relation here. From the controller, we go to models. If you go to the controllers, you can see from the controller, we are going to models now. We are calling models as well, right? Once the model execute, then this result is coming back to controller again. Here in the user, this is the result. Then this result is going back to routes, and then it's go back to UI side. Sure, Ritik. I will show you the controller slash index.js code. Yeah, this is the controller slash index.js code. Two methods which we are exporting here, and in each methods, what we are doing, we are using models to get data, create data. Okay. So let me run the file because Liquid was not able to create the user. So let me do that for him. So let's go back to the create one. Yeah, this is a create one, right? Localhost 5000. Let me check the API. Slash, we will go to, so for checking the API, we will always go to route folder. So slash create user. That's how you guys also have to practice. For checking the API's name, we will always go to the route folder. For checking the controller code, we'll go to the controller folder. For models, for database tables, models. Okay. So let's see in the body. Let's enter that. Let's see if this entry is already there or not in the database. So first, let's check that this entry is there in the database or not. We'll go to the PHP admin. Yes, this entry is there. So let's change this entry. So let's keep somebody else's name. Rohan as gmail.com, is 24. He is developer, right? So we can see in the controller for checking the logic part, we'll go to controller. It needs 4 things: name, email, age, role, and we are sending 4 things from there. So let's click on the send now. And you can see now the new record has been created for us. Rohan as gmail.com, developer, and in database, I show you in the database, you can see 3 records will be there. If I just refresh this thing, yeah, you can see Rohan is there. Now, if I call the get API, we should be seeing the 3 records. Yeah, ID 1, 2, 3. Right, guys? So that's how our APIs are working. Now, guys, we have to see this part is optional. This part is optional. The view part from the server side. Now, what we are going to do? We are going to put some of the. Right now, we are calling everything on the Postman. But now we'll call the get user API. We can still call the get user API. Let's see. HTTP localhost. I told you, right? Get API. We can call it from browser. 5000 slash. What was the call? Get users, right? Yeah, get users. slash get users. Oh, we have stopped the server. Let me run it. We are able to see the data, right? But now we will just make this, just now we will return HTML from the server side. Right now we are returning the JSON, right? Right now we are returning the JSON from the server side. And that's what happened, guys. In the real examples, after Angular, React and Vue comes, we only send the JSON from there. And then from the UI side, from the Angular and React, we convert this data into some HTML part. But now, earlier, or in some scenarios which called server side rendering, from the server side we send some we render the HTML, and that's what we are going to do it now. Okay, now we are going to create one view folder, which is very rare, guys. Right now this thing's not happen, but yes, somewhere it is requirement, so we'll have, so we'll create the views folder. Okay, so now first we need to tell to Express. And see, for creating the HTML in Express or Node.js, we have multiple engines. Those engines are called template engine. Those engines are called template engine because they provide you template. What is template? Template is, we already provide a lot of predefined thing. You just need to enter data into those templates. Okay, automatically data will be filled. Automatically one new will come to you. Like the marriage card, right? They already have one template. You just need to put some information, and then they will provide you some marriage card to you. So that's what the template engines already provides you, a lot of templates. And then those templates, you can just simply put your end data. We will put this user data there, and then we'll see some HTML in like list. We will view the list in the similar thing. We'll view the list there. Okay, so let's see. So for that, for template engine, there are many examples. Like there are many things. If you are able to see my screen, you can see using template engines with Express. So there are a lot of template engines are Pug, Mustache, EJS. Express internally uses Jade as a default. So, but we are going to today look into the Pug part. So we will not go so much deep into the Pug. You guys can later on, like every projects could have different things. But today we are just simply going to look into the Pug part. Okay. So let's first install the Pug in our system. It's a template engine. I will write this command in the readme also with the view engine, view template engine. Okay. So it should be come into our dependency. Yeah, we can see Pug is there. Nice. So now we need to tell to our application to use this Pug, right? For that we need to okay, so they are not telling it. So yeah, Express. We need to tell to Express that we are going to use this particular engine. Yeah, like this. App.set view engine Pug. You can tell it here. These all things which we are going to tell to the Express. This has to happen on the app.js only. And then we need to tell one more thing, like from where, what are the folder from where we are going to display our views. We are going to tell that views are going to be from, what is the folder? We are going to tell that is going to be /views. Correct? That's folder we have created, right? From here, all the views file will come for us. So guys, what we did two things. We did two things, okay? First, we installed one template engine. What is the need of template engine? The need of template engine is because they already provides you predefined templates. You can simply use those predefined templates and insert your data. Correct? You can write some of the JavaScript also. I will show you. I will simply do the each. I will show you. I have the one template. I will show you that. So the purpose of template is just to write things very easily rather than writing whole HTML and sending it from there. You just use those template and insert your data easily. Correct? So that's why we use the Pug. There are a lot of template engine like Pug, Jade, EJS. But right now, for this example, I'm using the Pug. So for that, first I install the Pug, npm install with npm install command. After installing, I'm telling to my Express app or Express server that what engine I'm using. what is the folder which is going to render the views. So I told I have to tell these two things to express. And after that, in the views folder, we'll create the file like index dot, or simply like we are going for user, right? So user.pug. The extension will be user.pug. Right? So you can see how template will be looking like HTML. Just that. We do not need to write anything. After that, head. Simply we can write head, right? And like I am also not very much familiar with the syntax, but yeah, I will try. Like body, might be some structure we need to follow. Yeah, body. Like let's go to the Pug website and very quickly see the syntax. Yeah. So they are not providing very good syntax. Okay. Wait. Let me remember. Like H1, we can simply give it here, and we can write here like users data, right? Right. I have one file. Let me copy it from there directly. So guys, see this thing you have to remember. These things you have to remember when you are going to use the Pug. But like whoever works mostly, because this is the front end side right now. So like whoever is going to serve these things, those people has to remember these things, right? So let's see. I have the views. I have created the users Pug there also. So I will copy the same thing and use it in our Pug. Yeah. Yeah, you can see here, guys, the structure. We are just telling this the HTML, body, UL, each, users in users, like user data will pass it. Then we are saying this is data which you need to display. Let's add like under the body, let's add H1 also. Not sure how it will work or not, but let's see. Let's see it will work or not. H1, let's add it here. Okay. And write some data like user list, something. Let's see this works or not. Okay, so now what next thing we need to do? From our controller, from our controller, right now we are returning the JSON data, right? Right now we are returning the JSON data. Rather than that, now we will render it. Now we will simply render it. Yeah, this is the get all user API, right? Get all user controller, which we are calling from the get user API. So we will do the render. And then what we need to do, we need to pass the Pug file name. And our Pug file name is user. That's what we need to do. And we need to pass this data in object. That's what we need to do. Let me check this thing. And then I will tell you what we need to, are we doing correctly or not? Let me check very quickly, guys. Yeah, I think we are doing good. Correct. So guys, I did two things only. So I'm just showing you, let me show you first, then I think it will make more sense, right? So let me run it again. No error while starting a server. Let's go to the UI and let's see how that looks like now. Yeah, you can see this is HTML data is coming, user list, and now name and email. Now the JSON data is not coming, and this HTML data is coming from server side directly. So that is the view part, guys. So like, yeah, let me see first your questions. Yeah, sure. Let me first commit these changes, so you guys can also run it, and then let me explain this to you. Git add, git commit, the view part, git push. So guys, let's trying to understand first. So earlier, yes, I think it was after this discussion, we are going for dinner break. Okay. So see, earlier what we were doing from our APIs, we were simply returning the JSON data or file data. If you guys remember, we have also written the Excel file data or some of the text data, right? Right now, what we want to do, we want to return the HTML data from our side, some view, like some view data which we want to, which user is going to view that data, that whole HTML part, we are going to return it. And how we are going to do that? We are going to use one engine for that. That is template engine. Those engines are called template engine because they provide us templates where we can easily write things. So see, in this, right, when we created the user.pug, you do not need to write like HTML, those colon and like body, like the same structure you do not need to follow. Automatically internally pug is doing for you. You just need to use their syntax like HTML. It will automatically create all the HTML like arrow and everything. It will internally create for you. It will create the body for you, everything. And now you can see you like how you have passed the data. You are simply telling the like pug file name and simply passing the data. And now this data you are using it very easily. You can see you are just simply using that with the same name variables users, and you are using it here. User.data values.name, user.data values.email. So that's what the template does for you guys. You do not need to write a lot of things. Template will automatically done a lot of things for you. You just need to know how to use them. And that's what I showed you how to use them. You just simply in the controller, just res.render that file name where you want to render, and that's how you can pass the data in an object. And now you can see this how we are passing the users, and we are simply, because this user is going to be array, because there is 3 entries in user. So now we are just simply iterating on that, each user in users. See, this is the pug syntax which you need to know. You have to go to the pug website and you need to know how to write the templates, how to write the condition in template, how to declare variable in templates. You can write the JavaScript in this same HTML file, right, guys? So that's what the view part is, and I've already posted that. So let me see if you guys have any questions in meanwhile. Okay, and I will tell you, like I will suggest you guys just take the changes from the GitHub and paste it into your, like, try to do it. We only made changes in control and added view files. Yes, because from the controller only we are returning the result, right? So only there only we have to render it. Earlier we were sending the JSON, so we are writing response.send. Now we are rendering things, so response.render. Ligit is saying he's not able to add users. Okay, weird. What is the error, Ligit, you are getting? In meanwhile, I'm taking the Deepak query. Let me see. Okay, I clicked on the answer. So oh shit, I think that query goes or what? Oh, okay, yeah, we have it here. So node app.js, drop table if table exists. Okay, create table. Okay, so you are still using the user.sync. That's why that command is running. Create datetime, unhandled error, unhandled restriction. Are you not using await under the async file? No, that's what you're doing, right? What is the error, by the way? It seems like your database is giving some error, Deepak. Are you not able to? Have you connected to Jamp only? Yeah, it's weird. It looks like some database error. From the Node.js side, everything is good. But it seems like some JavaScript problem on your database connections. Because you can see the MySQL query.js is throwing the error. Not able to see the table in PHP. PHP my admin, okay. Not able to see the tables in PHP user table. Yes, I have posted the changes, Ekta. You have to find it in day 10. So have you created a table first? Like when we were writing the sequelize in it, you have followed, right? On the Friday, were you able to see that these data? Like on the last class, were you able to do all the things which you did? Okay, so today only you have started facing this problem, right? Okay, it's weird because looks like so see in PHP okay, so you're not able to see the tables also in the PHP. So it might be possible like your tables got deleted, right? So you might need to create the table. You might need to create the table because see these commands But I think this is also creating a table for you, right? Create table if not exist user. Yes, it's creating a table for you also. Not sure what is the error you are like. Why this error is coming, guys? Because it's trying to create a table also, but somehow it's not able to connect. Try to create it. Very weird. I think like somehow you need to share your screen, and then I think we can look into this error together. Okay. In meanwhile, Likhit, what happened? 404 error. It means something else from your UI side, which is missing, which is the problem there. When we are getting the 404 error, it means like we are getting some error from the UI side. Sure. Are you guys not able to see my screen in Git, changes in GitHub? How is it possible? Let me see. Yeah, it's the view is there, right? These are the changes which I post, right? This is the controller change which I post, right? Then we have installed the pug here, and this is our views.user.pug. Okay. If you want, let me paste it. Yeah, this is the control part, Ekta. Res.render. Earlier we were doing res.json. Now we are just rendering some HTML data. So that's why we are using res.render. And I told you from which template we are using. We are using user.pug. You know that, guys, we haven't imported anywhere. Why we have not imported anything on the top? Because on the main file we have already telling that all the static files is going to be in the views folder. So that's why we can directly use this res.render now, and we can pass the file name users, and we can pass simply data here. Okay. So I think Deepak, you can just simply yeah, guys, we can go for break now. So we can come back at 10 o'clock. Okay. In meanwhile, let me check Deepak queries. Yeah. And Deepak and Likhit queries. Sir, how to connect MySQL database? I already you do not need to connect it. Sequelize is doing automatically for you. You just need to use await sequelize dot authenticate. It will automatically connect for you. You do not need to externally import any of the packages. Sequelize is already doing that for you, Yunus. Okay. Okay, Deepak. So Deepak, you could like create those tables. You can simply copy this query, which is the coming for create. You can copy this query and paste directly in your SQL structure. See here. Let me share my screen with you. Yeah, you can see this like SQL structure. You can first go into the database, social media, then you go into the SQL, and then you can paste that directly query here, right? And then automatically this will create table for you directly from editor, SQL editor. Yeah. Let me find out if I can find out somehow the query also, so I can provide you that also. Export is there, right? Uh, but you are already getting the query, right, in the console, so you do not need a query from me. You are already getting that query, right, in that console.log which you have forwarded me. You can just use the same query. Yeah. Jamp is not working. For working Jamp, I think you like what machine you guys are using. What's the problem? Is it the port problem? Because if it is a port problem, so I think you can go to the php.ini and then check there. From there, we can solve the port problem. If it's not a port problem, I think you can watch some of the YouTube videos how can install Jamp on our system, or you can look for some blogs in the Google. If Jamp is not working, then I think whatever we are doing, we're not able to do that, Eunice. So I think you should be first focusing on this thing. or in our next I will ask if Ansul is already here. So I will ask one some half an hour, 1 hour session where on the Zoom, so where I can simply connect with you all and just see what are the queries, what are the problems you guys are facing. I think Chandu has also connected to me on LinkedIn. So I will ask if Ansul is already here. So if he's hearing me, so please schedule 1 hour call because uh, people are facing some problem in starting their Jam servers or MySQL databases. So if Ansul is already there, otherwise I will call. I'll talk to Ansul after this call also. Yeah, and then we can schedule 1 hour call where we can see all these installation errors. Yeah. So Likhit has also sent me something. Okay. Likhit, very small problem you are doing. You do not need to send data in text. I think I already told this thing in the previous classes also. It should be JSON, right? It should not be text first thing. It should be raw JSON. And you are calling the get user. You should call create user, right? Get user is a get API for fetching the data. You are trying to create things. Your API should be different, right? Your API endpoint name should be different. These are two errors I can directly see from here. Let's try to correct these things. And you're not passing age and role from here. If you're having age and role in your model, you should pass it from here. You're just passing. Oh, why are you passing ID? You don't need to pass ID. ID will automatically be created for you. You need to pass name, email, age, role. These four things. You don't need to pass ID from here. Okay. These are the 3-4 errors which I can see directly from here. Okay, Likhit. So first, correct the format. You're passing data in text right now. You should be in JSON. Then correct your API name, and then third, correct the correct the data which you are passing. ID should not be passing. Whatever things you have in the controller, you have to pass only those columns from here. Those keys from here. So in the browser, I am getting the data in JSON format, not in the list as well. So we'll see that after this, after the break, Ekta, okay? So let's go for break and let's come back at 10 o'clock quickly. Yeah, sure. Let's come back. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm back. Is everyone also back? Let me also start the charger. Oh, great, Deepak. What was the error? Why it was happening? Can you guys hear and see me? Oh yeah, that was uh, that was only the way. So Arad Vishal, have you tried the today's code? Are you guys able to see the listing? Whatever we are listing, like the user list, are you guys able to see it on your browser? What happened, Arad? You have solved it, right, on that day? You have solved it, right, on Friday with changing some port, I remember. You and Nilanjan was facing some port problem, right? Oh, it's weird. Shutting down for you also. I think, yeah, I think we will first take 1 hour session tomorrow to just properly configure these systems. Because see, with the classes where you cannot share your screen, these errors we cannot simply uh, do it right. We need this particular infra in our system. Then only we can go ahead. Not yet just focusing on what you're teaching in the session. Vishal, it will be very difficult. See, you can understand the things, but you need to do also. You need to follow whatever I'm doing, as Ekta and all others are doing. Then it will make more sense to you. Okay. Yeah, try to do also. I will request to what is his name to the like reliable team Ansul, that if we can have 1 hour. Okay, Deep has done everything successfully till now. So congrats, Deep. What about Ekta or Nilanjan, Joseph? I'm not hearing today from Joseph, Nilanjan. What is happening with you guys? Okay, so Ekta is still getting in JSON format. So Ekta, have you followed the steps? What are the steps? Let me very quickly first tell you the steps which I did. So first I installed with this command. First I install the pug in my system. That we can check with packet.json dependencies. Pug should be there. After that, in app.js, I added these two lines where I'm telling that my view engine is pug, and check the spellings also, guys. The set spelling should be correct. View engine and views, and then I'm telling them the folder about where my folder is views. So from app.js, I can directly go into the views folder. So that's what I tell it here. And after that, the next thing user.pug is there. I have simply HTML body h1 user list, and just I'm giving unordered list where I'm just running on the loop. This is the variable which I'm passing from the controller. Then just doing the loop, then passing just getting the value from that variable user.data_values.name, user.data_values.email. And then the next change which I did in the controller, yeah, here simply I'm doing this thing. So just check anywhere any spelling is wrong. It should be user, whatever the name of your pug, the same name should be go here. So just check once, is it all the step you have done it or not. uh, uh, Delete MySQL. I tried this on terminal and jam worked, but only once. I see. I see a lot of people are facing problem with these things like installation and all these things. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So did the exam thing just need just use npm install pug instead of save one. Can you share the code on pug file? Sure, sure. Let me share the pug file code here also. Just cross verify it. It should be working. Could be something is missing. It should not send the result in JSON. If you are using rest.render, it should not return the result in JSON. It should be rendering some HTML only. I think this is not looking good here. So I will I would say to you guys that go to this file directly. I will just pass the link to you guys. Not getting the hyperlink. Oh, okay, it's on the top. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, I'm just passing it to you. It will directly give you the pug file. Hey, what happened, Joseph and Niranjan? Are you guys following today? So you have you guys have done the you have ran the server. Is it working? Are you guys able to see the UI part, the data in HTML format rather than JSON? Yeah, Rad, I can understand because you like right now today Jamp is not working, so I can understand because you need database to work. See, rather than see, what you can do, Arad, you can do one more thing. No need to actually see, rather than writing this line, you can simply write one array, right? You can still do everything. See, you can remove the dependency from there. You can simply return one array from here, right? The array could value have ID one, right? It needs two things, right? Name, it could be Rohan, right? And email, and it could be abc at gmail.com, correct? You can have one more user inside it, the same object. So see, your database is not working, right? Only all other things are working, right? So just remove the dependencies from the database, correct? So just comment out this line. I think now see, it's still my system will work. Just comment out this line and from app.js comment out this line also. Await equalize one. These two lines, these three lines you have to come like close it and let's see. Let me see if it's working for me or not. Server is running properly. Okay. Let's go into the UI. Let's see. So read property. Okay. So right now what is happening because in the pug file we are reading data in data values. So that's why with this particular data should come in the data values. Yeah. So like there should be one more object like this because the data is we are fetching in a data values variable, data values key. So 1 minute was just let me just do that for you. Data values here also, and the same thing for this object also. Data values. It should work now. See, working. So let me pass this to you. This array, Arad. Like to whom the database is not working today, you can still run the code, guys. Okay, let me first pass this array to you. See, you just keep this in the controller here in the line number, like in rather see wherever you are making connection to databases, just comment out those things and then simply run the server. Okay, Arab? So try it. Anyone who is not facing like who's not like facing some problem with the databases, let's try that. So Likhit has and again some problem. Okay, so this one I already explained to you. So what was the problem there? Let me see now the next screenshot which you have said would be Likhit. So yes, now you are sending in the JSON, name is email, okay, post. So you are running server in on localhost 3030, right? Okay, let's see. Let me see the spelling and everything is wrong, correct or not? So you are running it in 3030, right? Likhit? And post is there and Likhit is there, email is there. Okay, now it looks good. Raw, JSON, that's fine. Let me see my postman also for the post. Yeah, raw JSON. This is also good. You are running in 3030. So yeah, I think it should work, right? What is the error this time you got, Likit? I think whatever I told you, you have done correctly, all those changes. So wants to know what is the error you were getting this time. Yeah, I think name is. I think not sure. You need to provide some more keywords also. See, 404 is coming. It means you need to provide some more things here, right? See, Likit, you can see my screen. Go to the create controller, go to the create controller part and see these four things I am sending it. These all four things I need it. Name, email, age, role. And how I am deciding? I am deciding based on the model. If I go into the model and open user.js, so I can see name, role, email, and age. These four things I have to pass. And these four things I only need to pass it. I'm only passing in our controller. And these four things I'm passing it from Postman also. But yeah, if this is the problem, but yeah, show me the error also. What was the error you are getting? Yeah, like it. Show me the error also. Is it important to run the pug file because not able to get the data in pug file? You do not need to like you just need to do the rendering part, Deepak. So response.render. You okay? Your question could be, do we need to have the pug file? Yes, we do not. We definitely need to have pug file whatever we are going to use in the controller, like res dot. You remember this line? Yeah, this one res dot render user. So yes, this user dot pug should be there under the views folder, and then in the user dot pug, just keep this data. So why like you have to give like whatever you have written in the controller. See, whatever you have written in this controller, how many fields this this user dot create has to accept, all those values you need to pass. Okay, Likit? I think this error is little weird. Cannot post. Hey, are you running on the right port? Is the 3030 is your port? Can you check your API name also? It looks like this API name it doesn't exist. Create user. Can you check your API name? This error is not throwing any error like this age and anything is missing. This is saying cannot create. That post method doesn't exist. This API is saying cannot post slash create user. It means slash create user doesn't exist in your case. Are you sure you have the same API name? You are running the server on the same port. See, this is the API name, right? In the routes folder. In my case, this is create user. In your case, is it the slash create user only? And check the port also. Is it the right port you are using? I think port is correct. It seems like that create user is not the correct one in your case. Got it now. Now able to render radiant pub file. Great. Cannot post happen when not refreshed. Can't post happen when not refreshed. Can't post happen when not refreshed. I didn't understand, Vishal. Can you just rephrase your question? Is it? It's the same screenshot Likhit which I'm getting, and I'm again seeing the same error. Cannot post slash kid user. It looks like this API doesn't exist. Can you show me where you have written all those APIs? That part also in the file in the routes folder. If you are following my code, it means you have moved all those code in routes folder, right? I mean, in Postman, you need to put again the URL. No, no, you can use the same. See, the same URL, localhost 5000 slash create user. I have created it once. Now I can create. I can just simply change the data and again send it. So I do not need to like create a new tab and then go there. I can do in the same tab. Okay. So Likit is sending some other screenshot also. So let's see. Yeah, it looks good. Router.post slash create user, create user. Oh, it's weird, huh? It looks good. Then where we can have error, right? Send the app.js also, the main file where we are running server and using these routes. Like Ekta, you were facing some problem. Is it resolved? Okay, so you have new app.js file. You have routes folder there. Okay, great. Cons routes is equal to require routes. Okay, that looks good. But why do you have express.json two times? You can remove one express.json first. Okay. And app.use routes. All the thing looks good here. 3030. Yeah, I think that's just the line number 6. Remove that line. Let's see if that's only the problem you have. Yeah. Let's remove that thing. Okay. Because all other thing looks good. I face can't post problem when changing method from get to post without putting the. Oh yes, yes. That's what you have to do, Vishal. If you're changing methods from get to post or post to get, you definitely need to change the URLs, right? If you're not using the same URL, you cannot do that. Correct? So yes, you need to change the URL. If you're changing the methods, I thought you were saying like we cannot make the same call again with the same URL. If you want to change the URL, okay. Okay, so I faced can't post problem when changing methods from get to post without putting the URL again, even if the URL is correct. Okay. Mm, weird, huh? Even if the URL is correct, still it is not taking the call you are saying. Mm, see, this is the create user, right? So now if we make it to get, and let's make our routes also get, like change the name to create user, this one also. So let's see. That's what you're talking about, right? If you're not changing a URL, I'm just taking the same URL right now, but just changing the method to get, right? And it should not take the body now, but let's see. Yeah, I'm getting the data, guys. I'm getting the data, Vishal. We need pug. Yes, yes, Aradhya. Arad, sorry. Yes, we need pug. We need pug to render things on UI. So that's why we have installed it. So Likith is saying same error. So Likith, I think I'm not sure what is happening on your system, guys. It looks like. So are you able to hit the get API? Are you able to hit the get API? Yeah. Oh, it's fine now. What you did? Is it just the express.json line two times? That was the causing the issue? Oh, change the port. Okay. Actually, the issue is caused due to the pug module. Okay. What issue? Oh, it means it didn't get properly installed. If it is saying pug module not found, it means it didn't get properly installed. So you have to install it properly. npm install pug. Arad, there's one doubt. So let's see. npm install pug. Oh, why are you writing minus minus install again? You just need to write in one line, Arad, npm install pug minus minus save, not minus minus install. Yeah, but minus minus install should not be there. Why are you writing minus minus install? You just need to write minus minus save like this. Let me paste it here. Yeah, this line. Nitesh, you not define in file. No, we haven't defined pug anywhere in the file. We have registered that engine in our app.js in this file. In our app.js, we have registered it here. Right, guys? Oh, sorry, not here. Yeah, here. Pug. So that's how they are internally relating. Okay, guys. So that was all about the MVC. That's what we did, what we saw today. Let's look into the earlier slide where we are going to look for the sequelize part. So let me see in the slides first here. So yes, we have seen the examples. We have created all the things. ORM, we already know. We already done the routing, then the code explanation, and all those things which we already did. So let me now upload the sequelize one. And let's see some of the part which we have left in the sequelize. Okay. So that would be 27, right? Yes, 27 July. Sequelize, yes. Okay. So now we are in the sequelize one. And I remember in the sequelize we have reached, we were in the model querying techniques, right? Because if you remember, till now we are simply querying it, find all, right? That was the one query which we ran, which we simply done the find all. So today we will do the more things. Today we'll try to do things more. Okay. Yeah. This was the find all. So we'll start from the find all only. So you can see, so when we run this thing, like, okay, let me open this slide in the tab. So I will not be like, I will be sharing my screen. So I can share my screen and show the slide together, right? So let me open it. 1 minute, guys. Yeah, now let me share it. I've already opened it. This slide. We'll go into that part. Yeah, this was the select part. So we are tried till now. We are doing the find all. What find all was giving us? If we look into, okay, so Arad, now I'm actually just converting back all the changes which I did. Now I will, because I will do all the queries in the sequelize. So I need sequelize things. So I will just revert back the changes which I did for non-database scenario. Okay, guys. Okay, so now we'll come back to the controller part because all the fetching is happening from here, and we'll look in. We will right now we're doing find all, and when we call this find all, it is giving us all the data, right? Like if I show you here, yeah, this particular data, and now I will also remove the render part because I will do the JSON directly. We can see simply all the data in our APIs. We will not do the render now. Okay, let's run our server one again. Let's see if it's working properly or not. Yes, it's working. So that's what find all is doing. Correct? We are just getting all the columns. Right? So now let's back to our slide. Meanwhile, I will come back here also to see your questions. Okay. So let's see. Now they are saying if we do not want to populate all the columns, we just want to populate some of the columns. So that's then how we will do that. We will do that with the attributes. So let's try this thing. We'll try. So we'll go into the find all and put one object and keep the key as attributes. Okay. And then they are saying attribute will be one array. So let's see again. We will take an array, and now we only want name from a role. Only 2 columns we want. So that's what we'll do. And if you want to change any column name, that's also we can do. So let me show you. And I think we need to give them a bit tick. We cannot give them like this. We need to give them like this. Yeah? That's what the syntax is. And if you want to like change the there is age column or like email. This is the column, right? Email. And if you want to change this column name, so we can do like this, comma. In the array, you can see in array, we can say we can keep the name as a user name. Any name we can give. I'm just showing you one example. So now I'm fetching 3 columns only. Name, role, email. And I'm also changing the column name of email to username. So let's see, is it happening or not? Let's start a server. Go back to the postman. Yes, you guys can see 3 records are coming. Only 3 columns are coming. Name, role, username. Name, role, username. Okay. That's how we can find it out, some of the attributes from our queries. Are we good with that, guys? So these things, see, whatever I'm going to tell you, these things you guys can easily get it from the their documentation. A lot of things will be here. I'm going to tell you some of the things, but most of the things will be here, right? So let's see the next thing in our slide. Next thing is, if we want to go, if we want to do some of the aggregator option, aggregator functions. You remember count, max, min, all those things. If you want to do in our query, then how can do that? So for that, they have provided this syntax. So let's see. Let's try that. Let's try to do that syntax also. Let's remove these columns. Let me tell you first what I'm going to do. You guys remember? We can do simply select max ID from this table, right? Select count from this row. So that's what, let's see, how can we do that from the sequelize? How sequelize is saying that, how can we do that? So sequelize, see, this syntax is a little bit complex. You can see there. Like we need to write sequelize.fn, then we need to tell the method like count, min, max, then we need to tell the column name also, from which column we want to fetch it, and then we have to tell them like what value, the value which is coming in which column like what will be the name of that value, like username is there, right? In the syntax it was username. So whatever value is coming, what will be the column name for that? So let's try this. Let's try this if it's working or not. So let me, yeah, I think that's also syntax, right? Yeah, in attribute array, we need to provide sequelize.fun, and I think yeah, we need this also. It has taken the wrong. Okay, let's see. So we should get the num category, and we should get 3 records because in database we have 3 records for user. We are looking in the user table, right? Yeah. Let's see. Is working or giving any error? Yes, this is giving some error. Let's see what is the error. So sequelize is not defined. Oh, okay. Sequelize is not defined. Oh, yeah. On the top, we need sequelize also, right? Model provider sequelize. I missed it. Let's see now. So this is syntax, right, guys. You have to remember this syntax, how to use it. No need to remember. You can simply go to documentation and check that syntax. Let's see. Still getting error? Yes, no. Now we're not getting error. You can see 3 rows are there. Let's create one more rows. And let's check it's working or not. Let's give the post. Okay. Yeah. Let's create one more row in the user table. So yeah, API is correct. Rohan duplicate and keep everything the same. Let's create another row. Yeah. Let's check in the here. Yeah, we can see four rows, 4 values coming. That's how we are going to do the aggregator methods with SQL is provided. Are we good with that, guys? You can see this is a query simple query will be written like this. Select count ID as num category from category. This whole query will be converted in this simple line. You can see. Okay, are we good with that, guys? With the aggregator function in query? Okay, let's move further. Let's see our next slide. Okay, okay. Now I think we are going into the where condition. Now we need to find out some things like where user ID is this, or where username is this, where role is this. How we will do that? So for that they are saying now earlier we were giving attributes. Now we are we can give where and then attribute name, whatever the attribute name which we want to value. So let's try this also. We'll try it. Let's first see all the data. Okay, so let's first we can see that data in database directly. Yeah, let's open the user. Based on that, we can see. So see, now we will put condition on Rohan, like name Rohan first. Okay, let's see. So let's remove all these things. We do not want right now because yeah, remove the attributes also, and we are going to write where directly, right? Where, and this is also going to have one more object, right? Let me see this syntax on the slides. Yeah, where yes it has, and we have to provide the attribute name and the value. Okay, directly we need to provide the attribute name, so we can provide name and yeah, value could be, yeah, value could be Rohan. Let's see, is it working or not? Let's see, guys. So I'm just checking right now. Give me those users where name is Rohan. Okay, let's see. Let's hit it. Yes, I got it. I got only that record where name is Rohan. And if I show you the query, you can see the simpler query which is running here. Where you can see where name is Rohan. Okay, guys, are we good? That how can we put the where condition in sequelize? Are we good with that? Okay, great. Let's move forward. Let's see other things. And we can also put some of the operations, right? You remember like where you want to do like where or like where name is Rohan and ID is this, where name is Rohan and role is developer, like that, right? Like if I see data, so if I want where like all roles as developer, so let's update the role here directly. Let's update the role to like keep HR, right? Just randomly I'm taking. Let's update to developer to tester. Randomly, guys, whatever it's coming in my mind. Let's take it to designer. Right? This role or HR, better role will be manager. HR, yeah, that's fine. That's it. So now our condition could be give me that rows where like name is Rohan or where role is manager. Correct? So it should provide us two rows where name is Rohan and where role is manager. So that's what how we will do that. So that's what we are going to see it here now. So that's why we are going to see it. We can see that op.eq is there, right? So let's see how we'll do that. Is there any other query which is giving better example to us? Yes, I think this is good. op.or. Yeah, let's try that, guys. So inside this, we need to write what? 1 minute, guys. Let me see that again, the syntax. Yeah, in a square bracket, yeah. Let's copy this syntax from here. Yeah. So now we'll change that. No problem. We'll change it. No problem. And let's remove this condition. Yeah. Now change it. So now first will be name should be Rohan, right? That is our first or condition. Or role equal to manager, right? That was our condition, right? That where name should be Rohan and role should be manager. Role, it should be or condition, right? Let's see. Are we getting two rows or not? Let's see. Okay, so there is some error. It means we have some error in our syntax. And OP is not defined. Okay, OP is not defined. I think that OP will also come from sequelize only, right? Let's see. OP is coming from where? Okay, sequelize. I think it will come from sequelize only. Like models. Let's see. OP. OP is there directly or not? Let's see. Let me trigger it if I got error. Yes, I'm still getting error. So this OP is coming from sequelize or what? Let me check in their documentation, guys, very quickly. About the OP. Model querying basics. Are you guys have any example for OP also? Yeah, OP is there. Yes, it is coming from sequelize only. Okay, so we need directly sequelize package, guys. Const OP equal to sequelize. Yeah, this time it should work. Identifier OP already been declared. Oh, okay. I already declared it here. Let's run it now. Okay, still getting error. What is now? Cannot read property or of undefined. Uh, okay. Hmm. op.or, it's undefined for them. Let's see here how they have used it. So op.equal is there, okay. op.and they are using in similar way. Why I can't use the op.or? Oh, it should be array, okay. That's what the syntax is saying here, right? It should be an array. Okay, we'll try that only. We will not keep the object. Okay, and then they're saying these fields should be in the object. So guys, yeah, this is just syntax, nothing to remember. Just see how that works and then just try to implement it. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so what we are doing is simply creating two condition. Now we are getting one error. So let me think why this error is coming. I think we have removed one curly braces. That's why. Okay, let's see. Are we good now or not? Okay, we are still some having problem with syntax. Okay, cannot be property or still. Is it not good? OP dot. Oh, it does not have. Oh, oh, guys, I think you guys have already told me this in the comment, but I have missed the require. See, oh, I can make this small mistake. Huh? Very weird. Huh? I was just missing the require. Now you can see OP dot. Yeah, or will be there. Yeah, now it should work. Yeah, you can see Arpit Prover as a manager, Rohan as a tester. So that's how, guys, we are going to do multiple condition. And will be there, equal will be there, like whatever the different operations they provides. We can do a lot of things with that. If I show you like the multiple operations which they will provide, we can see in the slides only. Yeah, this is and or. We can do op dot equal, not equal, op is, op not, right? And there are more, I think. Where is the slide? Yeah, yeah. OP dot greater than, OP dot less than, OP dot greater than equal to, less than equal to, between, not between. There are more, I think. Like, not like, start with, service string, and like internationally, like insensitive ends with like the value, right? And you can see here, like I'm using like right now they are showing op.and, like ID should be greater than 3 or description should be match with product. You can see how they are using it. Yeah, there you can see the condition down, the simple query for that. Select a stick from query category where ID is greater than 3 and description like this product. So that's how you will write in a sequelize. Sorry. That's how you will write in sequelize. Are we good with that, guys? With these OP and these conditions? Okay. So we just need to do some practice. We do not need to remember these things. See, again, I'm telling you guys, these syntax you do not need to remember. I am telling you once you will do one project only in the with the sequelize, you will automatically remember all the syntax next time. See, because you have to write multiple queries in one database, and you have, again and again you guys have to write these op.eq, op.this, where you have to use this, like where you have to use like this. So you do not need to remember. I haven't worked with Sequelize, that's why I have to check the query. But if somebody is working in one project only with Sequelize, they will remember all the syntax. Okay, so let's move for further. Let's see what next we have. Okay, next we have update. How can we do the update? So let's try this also. Let me see if a better query. Okay, not better query. So let's see. See, in two ways we can do the update. Okay, so let's first try this way. In the get only, we will internally write. Before that, we'll do the update and then fetch it. Okay. I'm not okay. Let's create another API very quickly. No problem. Why to write in the same API, right? So how we'll do that? We want to create one update API where we are going to update the user data. Correct? So let's see. So first, what we need to do? We have to go to routes, right? We need to create the new routes here. Very quickly. Routes dot put update user, right? And then one controller method which we will create, we'll give the name as update user. Correct? We'll write it here also, update user. Okay. And then in the controller, we'll create a new method with the same name. Async, simply call it. Yeah. Copy the same. That's how you guys, that's how we only code things. You just simply copy it and then write our business logic. Update user. And then we will export it. Right? Now let's write the update logic, which we are going to do. Okay. So let's see. We are simply going to do user dot. So see, we will follow the same syntax which they have given. Let's remove everything from here. Let's follow the same syntax which they have given. So how we can do that? So model dot update and then attribute and then value, whatever the attribute we want to update, and then simply where attribute 1 is equal to null. Okay. We can also put the condition, right? So let's see. So we are going to update like the role, or we can simply say, yeah, role. So right, user dot update. We need to provide the we need to provide the attributes, right? So we can say role, and we'll take that role from the UI side. Okay, we'll take that role. Const role is equal to request dot body dot role. Okay, we'll take that role from there and then put it here. Correct. And then we also need to provide the condition, right? That's what we are doing. Where attribute, right? Let's see. We'll give the where attribute also. So where, and we will provide the ID also. From the UI, we'll provide the ID as well. Const ID is equal to request dot body dot ID. Yeah. And we'll write where ID equal to whatever ID value is, which we are getting from the client side. Correct? I think we do not need this curly braces. We are good. Extra curly braces is coming. Why? Yeah, now it should be good. And then we should return the whatever the user is coming. Okay, guys. So see, guys, let me first see you guys are able to see my screen or not. Are you guys able to see my screen? Yeah, great. So what we are doing here, guys, we are taking two things from the user side, role and ID. From our postman, we'll take these two things. And then we are simply following the syntax of updating things in database. So first I am updating the role, whatever the role value which I am getting from the client side. Then we are and where we are updating, where ID is this. So let's create one put API. First run our server. Server is running now. So let's come back to, let's create a new API very quickly. My system is working a little bit slow now. I can feel it. HTTP localhost 5000 slash update user. Right? That was our API, right? And from body, every time we have to come to raw, we have to select the JSON here. Okay? And then we need to provide the two things because we are saying we will provide the role and ID. Correct? So we will provide the role, we will provide the ID. ID is number, so we'll change the ID for 1. And I think right now, what is the role for ID 1? Let's check in database very quickly. So role is designer, right? Role is designer. We will make it tester. Okay. Let's see this API is working or not. So some problem is coming. Oh, okay. We have written the wrong way. Our HTTP, we have written the wrong way. Yeah. Now it should work. Still some problem. So our server is not running or what? Oh yeah, there is some problem. Route.put requires a call function but got an object undefined. Okay. Update user is there. Oh, we have written the wrong name, guys. It's update user, right? Oh yeah. The name was wrong. Syntax problem. Oh, still some problem is there. Requires okay. Let's see our routes. Update user, yes. Let's go back to the controller. Update user is there. Oh, the name was capital. Sit. Okay. No, now it's good. Now everything is good. Yeah. Server is running. We should be able to hit it. Yeah. Let's check. This one got updated or not. Let's check for. Let's check in database directly first. We can see the query also. Update set role is equal to this, where ID is equal to this. Let's see in our database. Yeah, guys, you can see it got updated to tester, right? Are we good with that? Are we good with the update? Let me first push this code. Yeah, I pushed it. Let's quickly see the delete also. Then we can wrap it. Or in meanwhile, if you guys have any queries, see the delete will also work in the same way. See model.destroy, where condition is this. If you do destroy truncate, I think this will clean whole table. Right now you're doing where attributes, like you will say where ID is equal to 3, where ID is equal to 3. So this row will be deleted only, right? But if you did truncate true, then whole table will be deleted. Okay, this whole table will be deleted. So that's what we'll do. Let me see if you guys have any questions. So next topic is association. Yeah, that's the only topic which is left. So associations are similar like join. How can we write joins? Because I told you, right, in SQL we have three things. First is our group by operations, which we can do with the methods, and then we have these joins. On joins we say it as association. And guys, before moving, there are three type of associations happen: one to one to many, or many to many. Like one-to-one would be simply like there could be two tables, employee table or salary table. In employee table, employee ID is there, and in salary table, also employee ID is there. So this is one-to-one relation. Like one-to-one means each places only one row will be there. In employee table, for employee, only one row will be there. In salary table, one row only will be employee for employee, one row will be there. So one-to-one, correct? One-to-many, like for employee city, correct? In city table, there will be only one city, Delhi. But in employee table, that city will be using for like a lot of people were using in the same city. So you can see one city table can have many users. So one city can have many users. So this is one to many. Or many to many is many to many is, if you remember the example of product users and order table. So always many to many happen with the help of one table. Now you can see one user can purchase multiple products, or one product can be purchased by multiple users. You can see many to many relation between these two tables. User and product. One user can purchase many products, and one product can be purchased by many users. So you can see from between both tables, they have many to many relation. So these are three type of association which you guys should remember. Okay, so I will stop it here and I will see your questions. Company to employee. Company to employee would be one company have multiple employees. So it would be many to one. Oh, one to many, sorry. One to many. One company can have multiple employees. But one employee cannot have many companies. One employee can only have one company. So then from the employee perspective, it would be one to one only. But from the company perspective, it will be one to many. What is group by? So group by we use for aggregating things. Like in one table, if we have common rows, like if we talk about the sections, right? If you remember the example of section and student, in one section, 60 student can be there. In section B, 60 other student can be there. Now, if we want to group by both sections data, then we will put group on the section column, and then we can get the compound result, aggregated result. That's what we do with the group by. And so guys, you understood the association, how the association looks like: one to one, one to many to one, or many to many. Now we only left with showing some examples. I will show you many to one examples in Sequelize, how you do that. But yeah, we can do that in our next class. Okay, so guys, I think today we have covered, like we started with MVC. We understood how the architectural pattern works, right? And then we understood like why it is necessary, what is model, what is view, what is controller. Then we understood like with the car analogy, like how can we understood the MVC. Then we created some folder structure. We created model, we created views, we created controllers, right? And after that, we tried to run some of the SQLized queries. We understood the select part, update part, delete part, also understood the association. Now we will see association with some examples. Next class, Wednesday. Yes, next class would be in Wednesday only, right? But yes, I will ask for Ansul to have 1 hour class so we can connect for the SQLized part. Sorry, the installation part or some errors which we are seeing. So let's see if that class is going to happen tomorrow or on the next let's see when it will happen. Okay, guys. So yeah, that's all for today. Have a good night, and please do more practice. Go to these websites like the Sequelize documentation and do more practice on your own. Okay. Yeah. Bye. That took That to ask for Zoom class. Yes, definitely on Zoom only, where you can guys can share screen. Yes. Now it's like whatever we are going to discuss now from the, I think the upcoming classes, all are going to be more practice with programmings. Less topics, more doing. That's why I think you guys have to be first have proper system and everything running on your system. Then only you can move forward. Otherwise, you cannot like follow with the wording only. Okay, so yeah, have a good night, guys. Let me update the things to Ansul also. Then we'll see. Okay, guys. Bye bye.